Integration of arts. 5. Integration between literature and performing arts. 5.2 Europe Classical Theatre. English Elizabethan Theatre. The Elizabethan era saw a boom in art in general. But the performing arts had perhaps made the most lasting contribution to the English language and to world culture. Medieval England saw morality and mystery plays. Actors performed plays even during religious ceremonies and festivals. Finally, towns across England have long funded public performances, which involved musicians, acrobats, and clowns, and these continued even as the drama became popular. Procession of Shakespearean characters. The first professional troupes of actors were sponsored by the Queen, nobles, and anyone else who had the money for such entertainment. Possibly due to the English Reformation, plays were now no religious theme at all right now, nothing to do with public holidays or religious holidays. Staying away from divisive religious topics led writers to explore other themes, and their imaginations were boundless. The topic of history was especially popular with new playwrights at a time of unprecedented growth in British nationalism. Professional actors and theatres. Since before the reign of Elizabeth I, the companies of the performers were attached to the families of the major nobles and performed seasonal performances in different locations. The touring performances of these performers gradually replaced the mystical and moral dramas of homegrown players. City of London authorities were generally hostile to public performances, but its hostility was outweighed by the Queen's taste for drama and the support of the Privy Council. Theatres were popping up in the suburbs, especially in the Southwark Free Zone. City dwellers on the other side of the Thames had access, but are beyond the control of the authorities. The companies claimed that their public performances were just rehearsals for frequent performances in front of the Queen. But while the latter did gain prestige, the former was the real source of income for professional players. French Classical Theatre. Classical expressions applied to literature imply concepts of order, clarity, moral purpose, and good taste. Many of these concepts were directly inspired by the works of Aristotle and Horace, as well as classical Greek and Roman masterpieces. In French classical theatre, also known as French classicism, a play should follow three unifications. 1. Unity of place. 2. Unity of time. 3. Unity of action. 1. Unity of place. Settings should not be changed. In practice, this results in frequent castle interior. The fight takes place off stage. 2. Unity of time. Ideally, the entire play should be completed within 24 hours. 3. Unity of action. There should be a central story to which all subplots should be connected. Relevant concepts to the drama unities. 1.
Les bienséances.
2.
La vraisemblance.
3.
Eiuti de lectare, eiuti prodes.
4. Break rules.
Les bienséances.
Literature should respect moral norms and taste. Even historical events should not propose anything that disregards these norms. 2.
La vraisemblance.
Actions should be believable. When historical events contradict credibility, some critics suggest the latter. 3.
Eiuti de lectare, eiuti prodes.
Literature and art must consciously follow Horace's motto to please and educate. 4. Break rules. These rules or codes are rarely fully followed, the masterpiece of many centuries deliberately breaking these rules to enhance emotional effect. Theatre under Louis XIV. By the 1660s, classicism was finally imposed on French theatre. The indication of these works revealed the extent of French classicism. The tragedy of the last 2 decades of the century and the first years of the 18th was dominated by the classics of Pierre Corneille and Jean Racine. At the end of the century, especially in Crebillon's plays, there was an occasional return to the drama of the beginning of the century. Multiple episodes, exaggerated fear and pity, and representations of horrific acts on stage. Early French opera. Early French opera was particularly popular with the court during this period, and the composer Jean-Baptiste Lully was very prolific. Playwrights who had collaborated with Lully included Pierre Corneille and Molière. Molière's works were vast and varied. He is credited with giving modern forms to the French comedy of etiquette,
Comédie de Murès.
and comedy of character.
Comédie de caractère.
Comedy until the end of the century would continue along the path that Molière described. The satire and regular comedy of contemporary morality and etiquette would dominate.